In this video, we'll talk about tightening your pads so they stay horizontal, lowering your pads to the proper height, lubricating threads so that the pads raise easily and can be raised without tools, and removing any items from around the cradle unless they're required for haul out, and also inspecting your keel boards and ensuring the integrity of your entire cradle and that it's safe to use.
We're going to look at cradles now and how you need to set them out for haul out so that it's safe for a cruise and safe for your boat and it lands safely. Behind me I've got a cradle here. As a captain we'll come in and we'll look at the pads first. We'll make sure that when we have a pad horizontal that it'll stay that way unless you put a little bit of pressure on the pad. So we want them so that it requires pressure and they don't flop up like this. If they do flop up like that, it creates a safety risk for our crew. We'll look around the cradle area and look for anything that's loose lying around. It could be a tripping hazard. So if you've got material not needed to land your boat, it should be far away from the cradles, inside your boat, in your car, or away from any of the haul out procedures. If you need extra pads or you've got styrofoam that you use, that's okay to have under the cradle, just have it organized neatly so that it's not a tripping hazard. A third thing we'll check is your keel board for landing your boat. Now on this one, this is quite a good solid board, but we want to make sure there's a steel beam under there. If this was just the wood, if the keel comes down at all at an angle and doesn't land right on the beams, it'll break the wood and create a safety risk for our crew and for your boat. So we're looking for beams under there, and I'll just show you what we call them floppy pads looks like. So on this pad here, when I let go of it, it's horizontal, I let go of it, it falls vertically. This requires one of our team members to actually hold the pad from underneath as the boat comes down so that it doesn't puncture your hull. So there's a risk of hands getting caught when you do that and a risk to your boat. So we need you to tighten those up. Looking at the back here, you can tighten up usually a bolt. You can add washers in between them. And then a final thing we're looking for on the actual material is a handle so that we can turn them to raise and lower. So they should have handles usually welded on. If not, we can't really raise the pads properly. Everything should be greased so it moves up easily. And then pad should always be lower than what you had last year. So if there's a few boats where they use the pads to change the boat's position in the cradle. If not, we want space between the pads and where the boat would come down. It may land slightly differently than last year, and we don't want the boat hitting the pad or creating a pinch risk for our team. So lower them at least 6 inches below last year, and if you're not sure where that is, just lower them to the bottom. We'll raise them up, and that's no problem. So that's what you need to do and have ready well before your boat comes out on the weekend.